And so, my dear ones, this beautiful month of March, as we march forward into greater good and its expression by means of each and every one of us, we are committed again to being one with the evolutionary vision, one with the open receptivity to what can be and to infinite impossibilities that you and I can unravel and move through and experience. So that life, not only for the one individualized expression of it, but for all life, so that life can be evolving in that unison, in that harmony, in that oneness, in the communion that was meant to be. So we vision, and Reverend Catherine did a good job of introducing the subject of vision and visioning. Now, there are lots of ways for you and for me to accomplish what we desire or what we're clear about or what we really know is good for us and what we want. Goal setting is one of those ways, and many of us enter into that. Visualization is a very good way too, picturing it the way we want it to be, etc. But these two are limited to an extent because they draw from what we have already experienced, and they draw from the sense world, the outer world. And as good as they are, there's something even better, and that is visioning. The difference is with visioning, we draw from the life that is within us, the wisdom, the truth, and the power that is within us. And we're dealing with what we do not yet know and what we have not yet experienced. Whereas in the past, with goal setting and visualization, we draw from what we have experienced and what we know. Oh, but in visioning, we are presenting ourselves as just simple open receptivity to understanding and getting clear about and realizing something new and different, something that we have not realized or experienced before. And so visioning is that beautiful tool, and as has already been mentioned, and I often remind myself of, without a vision, the people perish. And yes, without that inner sense, doesn't matter how good we are at visualization or goal setting, we're still limiting ourselves and meandering around in the conscious outer mind. And meandering around in the outer mind is dicey. But in visioning, we're just leaving the shell of ourselves behind. We're stepping out of it. We're stepping into the true and essential essence of ourselves by taking ourselves out of the exterior world so that we can enter into the world of the absolute. And in that world, we are faceless, we are formless, we are just pure energy. We are a point of light, a point of power, a point of consciousness, a point of intelligence, a point of light, of spirit. And that's the state in which we vision. Now, Ernest Holmes says there is a power for good in the universe greater than you are, greater than I am, greater than everything is, and we use it and it uses us. That's not to be taken lightly. That's not a power outside of ourselves. It's a power within ourselves, and it's very palpable and very real. And we can, when consciously connected with it and directing it, can create for ourselves and for all of life, because whatever good we create for ourselves, we want it for all of life too. It's never just about me. When I'm in that inner state, you're in that inner state, it's about the great I am. Nothing to do with me, nothing to do with the egoic understanding of life and living. We step out of our humanity so that we can embrace our divinity in the state of visioning. And all things are possible when we do. And so we have been told that if we ask, we shall be answered. And if we seek, we shall find. And if we knock, it will be opened unto us. Well, what does that really mean? It's not asking for a thing. It's not asking for anything. Not at all. It is asking to be open and receptive to the kingdom of heaven. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all things else will be added unto you. That's our ask. And we live in that question of asking for the realization of what it is to be an active point of light in the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of higher consciousness. That's the ask. And you and I are absolutely full of questions all of the time. The challenge is, the problem is that we're asking of every Tom, Dick, Sheila, Mary, Harry, and everything outside of ourselves, usually. And we don't even have to ask ourself, our human self. We just have to ask, what is it that is mine to be? What is it that is mine to express? What is it that life wants to express through me? And this is a mode of visioning that was introduced by Dr. Michael Beckwith decades ago. And since then, many people have been honing that skill based on that model, however slightly, adapted to. And so the first question in this sequence of how to vision is to ask. Why? Because the great Holy Spirit of life is always announcing to us, always ready to announce something to us that is for our good and the good of all. Each one of us in visioning experiences an annunciation. Something is announced through the power of the great Holy Spirit, the Lord of life consciousness, the mother of life consciousness, the creative energy in all of life. And that annunciation is there for you in this moment now, and for me too. For those who have an open mind and an open heart, an open inner mind and an open inner heart to hear. So we ask, and the question we're asking is, what is Spirit's highest concept of me? What is Spirit's highest concept of me that I am open and receptive to expressing through me, allowing it to express through me? What is that highest concept of Spirit for me? It's the first question in visioning after I have settled down and brought myself into the stillness and the quietness of mind and the stillness of body. And I've breathed, and I've relaxed, and I've released, and I've let go of everything that belongs to the outer world, and I simply have focused on my breath. And in that, I ask the question, what is Spirit's highest idea? Highest whatever that is wishing and desiring to express itself through me now? First question. And I sit with it. I allow it to saturate into me. And I don't allow my mind to give me the answer, my human mind. No, I just listen. I just listen. And what I do is say, speak, for I am listening. If my mind begins to wander, speak, for I am listening. I want to know. I want to accommodate whatever that good is that wants to express through me right now. Speak, for I am listening. And you may hear something It might be a sound, it might be a noise, it might be music, it might be something. You might see something, you might see a picture of something or another. It doesn't necessarily have to be sentences that you're going to hear, although you may hear sentences too. It can be anything. And there's no judgment in this. No, you cannot do this in judgment. There can be no judgment. You're just going to observe, listen, and receive whatever it is that happens after you've asked the question. Speak, for I am listening, and I want to know what it is that is the highest idea Spirit has of me with regard to what I can express and bring to the world that uplifts it. For I am here in service. I understand that I am the servant to the great Spirit of life, and that I am its outlet to the inlet of the information, the enunciation, what's given to me to work on and then release and go with it. That's the first question. What is Spirit's highest ideal for me, idea for me, thing for me to express and bring to the world right now? And then the second question is, and in between, we just sit with it and allow ourselves to saturate it. Saturate itself within every fiber of our being and every aspect of our being. Into the next question. What is it that I must release in order for this to happen? What do I have to let go of for this to happen? What is it that I am resisting letting go of in my life that stops me and blocks me and limits me and keeps me small in the way I think and feel and am about myself and life and living? What is that? What is it that I now can release and let go of in order for this great, wonderful, new and different thing to happen, for me to comprehend and allow it to express itself through me? What must I let go of? What is in the room of my mind, the great room of my mind, that I must release and let go of? What is in my life that I must release and let go of? Is it a person, a place, or a thing? Or persons, places, and things? Or is it a feeling? Is it a way of thinking? What is it that I must let go of in order to be thus empowered, enriched, uplifted, and be such a greater contributor to life and living? What is that thing? And we sit with that for as long as it takes until we get the response, which may be in the form of a aha moment or a feeling or an impulse, whatever. Don't expect any particular thing. Just ask the question and be open to what comes. And then when that is done with, and you move on to the next question is, what must I embody? What must I embrace? What must I become in order for this wondrous thing to express itself through me? What is that? What is it that I have to bring to life and living? What is it I have to give? You see, because in visioning and in spiritual life, nothing is ever about getting. There's nothing to get. We're not focused on getting at all. We're focused on, what can I bring? What can I bring? What do I have to bring? And it's not about dispossessing myself of anything, far from it. It's about enriching myself. For when I create a vacuum, something more wonderful comes into it. So what do I have to bring that is of good, that will serve the good in all of life and living? What is that? What is it for me right here and right now that I can bring to life, give to life, share with life? Because that's what visioning is all about. It's allowing something in so it can seep into us, be owned by us, and then move out from us in sharing. So it doesn't only enrich me, but it enriches all of life and living too, you see. Because that's, as spiritual beings, that's what we're all about. So what is the highest ideal or idea or thing that spirit would choose to express itself through me right now? What must I release in order to make way for a straight passage for that to come through me? What must I embrace and share for that to happen? And then just let the whole of you, the energy of you, the vibration of you vibe to those questions, so that you can indeed understand, maybe for the first time ever, that you're a pure conduit. You're just a pure conduit of a life force, an energy, a presence, a power that is you in human form. And that you have the very same purpose as it has. To be a light, to be love unconditional, to be an upliftment, to be someone that raises life, not depletes it, to be someone whose energy is always uplifting wherever you are, with whomever you are, however you are. So that you can experience what it is in a human life to be so richly blessed, beyond imagining. Seek ye first the kingdom of higher conscious awareness, and every good thing else will be added unto you. That's what we're talking about. And the good thing is your wholeness and your sense of fullness and your sense of completeness of being, and the glow that you become, and the light that you become, and the healer that you become, and the godliness that you become. So that indeed nothing untoward or unlike spirit can touch you in a way that knocks you off center, but that you're able to move through the storms. You're able to move gracefully through the storms. You're able to handle whatever it is in the three-dimensional world that crops up, because you know all I am is a conduit of the power and the presence and the infinite goodness and givingness of the one who chose to create me as its conduit. As its conduit. Fully powered up as its conduit. And not to be deterred from that through all the distractions of a three-dimensional planetary experience in human form. Not to be fooled by the egoic mind that would have us believing and thinking otherwise. There's no smallness in this. In this understanding, there's no smallness. There's no largeness either. There just is the fullness and the wholeness and the unity of understanding that all is one beautiful flow of Spirit's divine energy. That's all. And I'm in the flow of it, and its flow is in me. And once I can get that, my life opens up in a way I could never imagine. And then the final step is to ask, what is the first thing now I will do with this? What is my first step? How will I move upon this that has been announced to me so that it can move through me? What is that? So we live in those questions. We live in them all the time. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you. Ask the question, what is Spirit's greatest idea for me to express now? Seek Spirit all the time in the supporting of that. Knock on the higher door of consciousness for your guidance and your inspiration. And then do whatever it is you can do right here and right now in the moment to proceed. That's visioning. It's alive, it's energetic, it's expansive, it's forwarding in its movement. And it's there for you and for me as a spiritual tool to use. And sometimes when life is so chronically challenging us, our asking can be simply, help! Help! Here I am, I'm open, I'm listening, help! And boy, will you be surprised at times what happens. And sometimes even unconsciously, you and I will utter, oh, help. Good God, help me. Sometimes just we do that. And isn't it funny? Even, it's spiritually funny. Even if it's just an unconscious cry, help will come. Because that power and that presence, that energy will never come to you uninvited. It waits to be invited. It waits to be asked. Ask and you shall receive. Ask and you shall receive. Ask and you shall receive. So let's put this into practice this week, the spiritual tool of visioning. Let's do that. Let's do that. And it can be on the lines of anything that you so desire. Envisioning, I like to do it in two ways. First time, whatever it is in my own life that needs vision for, and then vision for all of life. 2 times visioning. Or you can do it in the one session. So, my dear ones, lift up your hearts and know that you are not your circumstances, your situations. It doesn't matter what it is that the world is telling you or that you're telling yourself. You're not any of it. Very little of it, even the good. You're more than that, much more than that. Now let's focus on being the moreness and bring the moreness to the world. It is waiting for us to do that so that it can be its perfect idea by means of Spirit, and it can express through it what Spirit's divine idea of the world is and life is. That's today's lesson. And there will be more following that. But now we're going to have Reverend Catherine come and share something with us.
This is the time in our service when we acknowledge how we fulfill our mission, to honor your presence, to nurture your spirit, and to enrich the life of all we serve. In this past year, there have been a number of things we didn't do the same way, and one of them is collecting school supplies for Rainbow Services in the way we have done for a number of years. My daughter Maureen, who you saw in this space a few minutes ago, has collected those school supplies, and this year, nobody knew what to do and how to get with the schools, but we still collected some things, and Rainbow Services is responding. I want to thank you for generously supporting Rainbow Services during this difficult time. I know that there are many worthy causes, and I'm so grateful that you decided to give to Rainbow. Your gift is deeply appreciated, those gifts of school supplies, and we sustain vital services for survivors of domestic violence and their children. Rainbow Services has been providing help and hope to survivors of domestic violence and their children for over 37 years. Together, we have the power to stop the cycle of domestic abuse. Recently, we began a financial wellness program to assist our survivors in attaining and building their financial independence and security. Our housing program connects survivors and their families to affordable housing within our community and helps them live safely in their homes. Please know that your thoughtfulness is greatly appreciated and is helping survivors move beyond trauma towards safety and stability. So thank you from them.
Thank you, Reverend Catherine. That's such a beautiful, beautiful group to support. I mean, really and truly, imagine the state of children in situations like that and what they must be going through. So anyway, and I know that you have your own people that you're helping and serving, but thank you, those of you who brought in those school supplies, and we will be continuing our support of the Rainbow Service Group and many others too. And since I'm talking about that, thank you for every good thing that you are doing. And I know sometimes it can get overwhelming because there are so many needs out there. But just listen to your heart and let your heart guide you with regard to how you can help and who it is you're called to help. But for all of your help out in the world and your help in assisting to support our center, we do really greatly, deeply appreciate that and cherish that, and we don't take it lightly. We're so uplifted by the generosity of you all. So please continue to stay listening and know where it is you are guided. And we're always guided as spiritual members to support that which supports our spiritual life and living. So thank you in so many ways, thank you. And now we are going to have our prayer. And today, let us make our prayer for every mind and heart on the planet open and receptive to Spirit's voice that is always available to them and is always speaking within them, but that they may be open to hearing and listening so that it can be lifted up. It's a beautiful thing. So pray with me right now in knowing this for every mind and every heart on the planet. I know divine love enfolds me. Divine light leads me. Divine life lives in me. Divine wisdom inspires me. Divine compassion expresses through me, and divine power protects me. All that I am is Spirit's life and expression. It is good and it is very good. With deep joy and generosity filling me, I go forward now in sacred service, supporting a compassionate world that works for all. I move through my days with grace and ease and peace and love and health and wellness, in fullness and plenty and in loving relationship with all. What I now know for myself, with blessing and in deep gratitude, I know for all life. There is only God, there is only God, there is only God. And now there's the opportunity to give, to bring to the table some of our good so that our work here can continue on your behalf and we can be that light on the hilltop. And we can be that leaven in the bread that raises it. And as we give thanks for our own rich daily bread, we remember that those out there are many who haven't got any bread at all. So let's take our gift between our blessing hands and say, divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, to bless, and to prosper all those who give and all those who receive. I rejoice in the sharing of my good. I'm eager in the sharing of my good. And I release my gift with love, and so it is. And so, my dear ones, next week is when, remember, those clocks need to be changed and they need to spring forward. Well, let us spring forward with it too. Let us spring forward as we move our clocks ahead. It's a reminder to us to, open ourselves up and let that springtime in and let that grace rise within us like sap in a tree and create so many more branches of good. You are the light, you are the life, and you are the way for many to experience a little kindness greater than ever before, a little more sense of life and living, and probably the instiller of a little hope in hearts and minds that are without them just now. Thank you. You're amazing, you're wonderful, and you are the point of light through which infinite being expresses itself with all its glory, if you're open and receptive to allowing it to do so. So be your best self, and we'll endeavor to be our best selves too as we move ahead into this new week. Blessings be and peace upon and through us all until we meet again. Know you are loved, you are cherished, and I will leave you the way the children always make their farewells here. It's a good thing. Peace out.